Welcome to the France 24 Observers, the show that's based on our network of ordinary people who are our eyes and ears around the world. Our first observer today comes from the Central African Republic. He is one of tens of thousands of Muslims who have fled the country to avoid being targeted by mostly Christian militias. The road to neighboring Cameroon was long and dangerous.
We made the trip in a convoy of 125 vehicles. It was extremely difficult. We were escorted by troops from the African peacekeeping force, MISCA. We were shot at one point. When we were coming out of the town of Yaloki, people were killed, and some babies in the vehicle I was in suffocated. When they heard the shooting, people in our vehicle panicked and tried to get away. Some of them stepped on the babies. They crushed them. We had to bury them along the way. Once we got to Cameroon, though, people welcomed us with open arms. They gave us bedding and food. We've been sleeping outdoors, even the women and children. As of now, I still don't know where my family is. I had to leave everything behind, all my documents, everything. They wrecked the room where I lived. I want to go back if things calm down, but the problem is many of the Muslims have lost so much, they've even lost their families, that many of the refugees are talking about getting vengeance. They have no hope, and some of them are talking about going back and fighting.
To Egypt now, 3 years of political upheaval have taken a toll on the country's archaeological treasures. The latest incident happened just last month when a car bomb exploded outside police headquarters in Cairo. It damaged the Museum of Islamic Arts, which is just across the street. Our observer has created a special team to handle just this kind of emergency.
As far as I know, it's the first brigade of its kind in Africa, in the Arab world and in the Middle East. We started forming it in January, a rapid response team for threats to national treasures. Our first operation came when a car bomb damaged the Museum of Islamic Arts. We went to see how we could help. We started by cataloguing the pieces that were affected and estimating the degree of damage. We also found a temporary storage space for the damaged pieces. Then we split up into 3 teams. One team worked with me at the museum. A second team went to the National Library to help out there. The third team took care of buying the equipment we needed to restore the damaged artifacts. Every piece in a museum is significant. If you talk in terms of the number of pieces that were damaged, it might not sound like that much, around 15% of the total works. But that 15% loss is a disaster because these pieces are unique in the world. Most members of the team are staff at the Antiquities Ministry. We've been training them in how to respond quickly to save archaeological treasures. We hope in the future to work with colleagues in other countries, especially neighbouring countries who have had the same kind of problems as Egypt. We want to share our expertise and help them deal with the same threats.
Now for our weekly roundup of other stories and images sent in by our observers. First up, N'Djamena, the capital of Chad. Our observer Zirega tells us that heavy trucks have become a major danger. With construction going on across the city, more and more trucks are on the roads. They're estimated to cause 80% of traffic accidents. Zirega says that's because the drivers are often badly trained, traveling too fast in badly maintained vehicles. The authorities have put up public service road signs and are trying to ease the traffic. Next, we go west to Niger. Our observer Abdelé is one of many Nigerians who believe they should see more of the proceeds from the country's key resource, uranium. The government is in negotiations with the French nuclear giant Areva on how much tax they should pay for extracting natural resources. Abdelé wants the government to press hard for a better deal and to make sure more of the proceeds find their way into public spending on agriculture, health and education. Now to Turkey. Our observer Serdar tells us internet users are furious about a vague new law restricting freedom of speech online. They have been taking to the streets, seeing it as another sign of increasing authoritarianism by the government. The law allows the authorities to block access to any site that they deem to be discriminatory or insulting or invasions of privacy. Serdar worries it will lead to self-censorship by Turkey's bloggers. And finally today, the illegal sport of drifting in Saudi Arabia. It's been popular there for years, usually done on roads out in the desert. But a new video has sparked outrage on the web. A four-wheel drive carving up a nature reserve. Conservation officials have called for the perpetrators to be arrested and punished. And that is a real possibility. Under new penalties announced by the government, dangerous drivers risk fines of €2,000 and 5 years in prison, whether they're driving off-road or on. That's it for this week. As always, you can find more reports from our observers on our website, on our Facebook and Twitter pages, and on our apps for mobiles. See you next time.